Hello everyone, I am Josh and welcome to this Sims 3 Create a World video. So this is something a little different, isn't it? This is a series that I've wanted to do for quite a while, pretty much since, I don't know, June or something, even earlier than that probably. So I've finally gotten around to it now that it's October. Wow, can't believe it's October already, to be honest. But here we are, creating a world in the infamous Sims 3 Create a World tool. I say infamous because this thing is a real pain to work with, but I'm giving it a go anyway. Now, I have no idea what I want to call this world, and I kind of had a vague idea of what I wanted to do. I'm building an island. I know that's very original, so original of me, but it's just way too difficult to build a, normal kind of world because it's just hard to make like a proper backdrop. So I've decided that an island is probably easiest. So I have no idea what I want to name this island, and yeah, just not much plans beyond just the fact I want it to be kind of a small island, kind of like a small community, that kind of thing. Now, I'm not an expert at all at Create a World. In fact, I have only messed around with it a couple times in the past, like maybe 6 years ago or something when it first came out. I was 10 years old, so 10-year-old me was trying to figure out how to work this program. It didn't work out too well. I was never able to make a world, and it was always a disaster. So I'm deciding now to come back 6 years later, and I'm a little smarter now, so I think I'm able to figure it out. Yeah, so right now you can see there's grass under the water, which is kind of weird. The reason that you can see the grass underneath the water is because I have not made the water level a little higher. So the water level's a little low. I eventually figure out that I need to raise the water level so it actually looks not weird. So I do figure it out, don't worry, it doesn't look this bizarre. So right now I'm making a small island. This island is just gonna have a lighthouse on it and like a little pathway to the lighthouse. I do make that in this part. I may put some houses on there, I'm not sure. So with this series, again, as I've probably been able to ascertain, I'm not quite certain what I'm going to be doing. I'm definitely going to probably use expansion packs to create this world. Now, I know that's probably going to upset a lot of you, but it's just a pain to have to figure out what's base game and what's not base game, because in Create a World, it doesn't tell you, what's from the base game and what's not from the base game. So I don't really know. I mean, I can kind of tell, when I pull out an object, I can kind of recognize whether it's base game or not, but there's just some, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I might have to edit that out. If you just heard a weird pause or something, a weird silent bit, that's just because I coughed. Anyhow, I'll continue as if nothing happened. There's just some things that just look better using items that are not from the base game, expansion pack items and stuff, like rocks and certain trees that just kind of enhance the look of the island. All the roads and stuff are from the base game, so, that's pretty standard stuff, but I'm not sure how many expansion packs I'm going to use. I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum, so I'm not sure which ones yet. I haven't done too much. Basically, this part right now, I'm just kind of getting the base of the island set up, like the shape of it, and I did a little bit of roads. The roads are really difficult to work with, and I discovered that for some reason I couldn't delete roads, and the undo button only goes back so far. So I kind of messed up some of the roads, and somehow got it to glitch out to the point where the road disappeared, and then I was able to build one over it. So it's not really the way it's supposed to be, but it looks right, so don't worry about it. I think it'll probably work fine, who knows. Oh, right here I'm adjusting the water level, there you go. So I found the button for that, and now it actually looks correct. Hold on, there we go. So oh, nope, not yet, hold on. There we go, right there. So now the water level looks normal. It's not all weird. So this tiny little island, I'm just gonna spend a lot of time sculpting it. So like I said, this island has the lighthouse on it. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with it. I think I'm gonna have maybe a couple lots on it that possibly go out over the water. Your sim will need a boat to get to this island. Now, I know that with Island Paradise, you have taxi boats. I don't know if those were patched into the game. I don't think they were. I think that you might need Island Paradise to get to this island. Or your Sims actually can swim to the island with the base game. So actually, your Sims will be able to get to this island without Island Paradise, but they'll have to swim to it. So if you have Island Paradise, your Sims will be able to boat to the island. So that'd probably be a little more convenient. The lots that I build, like the houses I'm going to build for this world, will definitely not be base game because I just can't. I'm sorry, I just can't build with the base game because it's just, you can't, to me, the houses just don't look as good. It's just really hard to make a good looking house with such limited items, and you end up using a lot of the items at the same time, multiple times in a house, and it just is not nice. And for me, everything's about aesthetic, and you know, I know that you guys are going to probably want to download this, and you know, the game will automatically replace items for you. I don't know about worlds, I don't know how that works. So like, if I use trees from an expansion pack that you don't have, and if you download this world, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it will let the world work or not. It might not work. So, I mean, I guess I could make a base game version of this world, like not the lots, but just like the world itself. And then I might come back later after I finish it and get rid of all the items that require expansion packs. So if you don't have any expansion packs, it'll still work. I mean, obviously we're talking like many months in the future, because who knows how long this project is going to take. So I'll figure it out then, but right now I'm just building a world, and we'll see where it goes. Here you can see I'm just finessing the terrain paint. Obviously I'm going to probably come back and go in much more detail. It's very limited terrain paints by default in Create a World. You have like 2 colored sands, the grass and the rock. I don't know if there's a way to add more terrain paints. I'm sure there probably is, but I have no idea, honestly. I'm not an expert at Create a World. This is pretty much my first proper world I've ever tried building in Create a World, so, you know, you're gonna have to cut me some slack here. This episode, or this part, I spent a lot of time just figuring things out and trying to make something that looks pretty decent. So here I'm shaping the main island. You know, there's 3 islands, so there's a main island, the little island I just made, and it's going to be another island behind the main island. So it's kind of like a small collection of islands. I do eventually shape up the main island quite a bit nicer, so it's not just like a blob. There's one of the islands at the back there. So you can kind of see it shaping up here. It's a little weird looking right now, but don't worry, it's not going to be so ugly in the end. So yes, so the main island, you can see it's actually not that big. It looks pretty big when I zoom out, but it's really not that big. Once I put the roads in, you'll see it's not that large. One thing that kind of threw me off was the lots. Like, the largest lot you can place, I'm assuming is 64 by 64, but like when I place in the largest lot, it looks so small, and I can't tell whether it's 64 by 64 or not. I know there's a grid, I have to figure that out, but everything looks weirdly small, and the lots look small, and I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Who knows? Anyhow, right now I'm looking for a lighthouse, so I'm just going to go through a bunch of things. It took me a little while to figure out that I need to add a new layer to get the to be able to place objects. So I get that figured out. There we go. Yay, you can place objects. Wow, how exciting. There's the Eiffel Tower. And yay, obviously the Eiffel Tower. Oh, there's like right now I'm looking at the surroundings. Like, these are the kind of pieces that surround worlds normally, like the worlds that aren't islands. And here I'm just kind of looking through the different objects. A lot of this stuff is from expansion packs. You can see it's like a huge list of things, and nothing is like the names are kind of okay, but they're very vague, so it's a little difficult to figure out what's going on. The rocks, you can actually, I did place a lot of these rocks in the ground because you can edit the XY coordinates of where these things are placed, the XYZ coordinates, so I was able to change the Y coordinate to lower it down a little bit. Well, I kind of messed that up. And then for some reason I couldn't delete that rock, so that rock is just going to be there forever. Oh well, but I kind of lowered it down a bit so it kind of looks a little bit more natural. Yeah, so obviously I'm going to go around and place a lot more rocks. I was just kind of messing around with things right now, and I'm going to do proper landscaping in future episodes once I lay out all the roads and lots and stuff. I'm just not very quick at Create a World because, you know, I have no experience with it. Well, that's not true. Very limited experience with it, and I've always failed at actually making things in the past. There's the lighthouse. Well, there it is. The base game lighthouse, the classic. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to make a pathway that kind of wraps around the island so your Sims can actually get to the lighthouse, which is always great. So here I'm just adjusting the height of it. One thing I do like, though, is that you can edit the terrain around objects. So you can see here I'm able to raise up the terrain around the lighthouse, which is really nice. That you can kind of place objects into the ground, which obviously you can't do in normal build mode in the game. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, here I'm going to shape up the terrain so I can get a pathway to kind of wrap around the little hill there so your Sims can actually walk up to the lighthouse, which will be nice. I'm going to try to place proper spawners and like routing and stuff so this world will actually work properly and not be like a glitchy mess. So I'm going to try my best with that one. I just think it'd be kind of cool to make a world. I've always kind of wanted to do it, and it'd just be kind of cool to build houses, in my own world that I've made, which I think, it's kind of neat. It's a little bit of a cool series. So right here, I'm just going to get a pathway in. Right now, I'm not using pathway pieces, which is why I'm just placing individually. There we go. There's a pathway. Lovely. So paths and roads are kind of weird. It took me a little while to figure out how to adjust them. So right now, this pathway looks really wonky, but I do adjust it later on. Don't worry. It's not going to look this bad for the whole part. It just, a lot of it is just I need to figure out how to use Create a Worlds, a little bit. So I just kind of figure out what does what and all that kind of stuff. It did help. I kind of went back and watched like the first parts of James's Aluna Island Create a World. It wasn't called that then, but the Sim Supply, when he made Aluna Island, which before he called it that, like back 3 years ago, he started that project. So I went back and watched his first parts to see kind of how he did it, and I kind of figured things out from that because, it's Create a World is not like The Sims 3. It's a beta software, so it's also like really finicky and confusing. So it's definitely not like a polished piece of software like the normal Sims 3 is. It's kind of a pain to use, but it's kind of cool that you can make a world. I'm not exactly sure how to share worlds because I don't know. I don't think you can upload. I guess you can upload them to the exchange. I think there's a way to do it through Create a World, if I remember. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. But obviously that's far in the future because I have not even nearly got close to finishing this. Also, let me know in the comments below if the speed of this is okay. This is currently running at 4 times speed. A normal video of mine will be like 7 times speed, like a normal house build. But this I'm running at 4 times, which I think is a pretty good speed. It's like not too slow where it's like super boring, but it's not like super fast, and you can kind of see what's going on here. Right now I'm just raising up the terrain around that area. I kind of want some like rocky cliffs as well. I don't want it to be like all beaches and stuff. There is a beach like in that little cove, which you'll see. I'm gonna get all that worked out. So yeah, right here, that's gonna be the beach. Right now I'm just kind of flattening out some terrain. The terrain is obviously a work in progress pretty much everywhere on this island, or this series of islands, because, I just need to kind of work it out a little bit and figure things out. Obviously right now it looks pretty atrocious, but you have to give it some time, it won't be so bad near the end. You'll see. It all comes together a little bit. I mean, most of the main island is not terraformed yet. I only kind of just terraform around this beach, which you'll see, so it's like 99% of this island is still a work in progress. So, just gotta bear with me here while I figure things out, and I'm gonna obviously hopefully get some more done in the next part. I'm hoping that in part 2 of this series I'll be able to get all the roads in and kind of get that figured out, because the roads are kind of annoying. So right now I'm just gonna kind of smooth out some stuff, and what I plan on having is the beach, the like public beach is gonna be down here where I am right now. There's gonna be a bunch of houses down there too, and I'm also gonna have the town center up at the top of this road where I'm building right now. So this road kind of comes down around this slope here that I kind of just put in. I didn't plan on it. Right now I'm just struggling with figuring out roads. Yeah, here we go. I figured out how to move the paths and roads around after you place them. So it's kind of a convenient feature there. So I'm kind of just adjusting this pathway so it doesn't look so atrocious, And I'm gonna put the road in here. And, the roads are really finicky. It takes me a little while to get them, because you can see they place like really all over, like they're like spaghetti basically. They just kind of go all over the place, and then you have to come in and adjust them later. And right now I'm just gonna kind of smooth out the terrain so the road is flat. And not flat, but it's not like on a weird angle. It's kind of like a nice slope, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, I'm really happy with how the island is looking after this first part. Because obviously it's very rough, but I kind of like where it's going, and I kind of have a vision in my mind. Like a lot of it, I'm kind of inspired by like Cape Cod and like Nantucket, like the, I guess like the North the Northeast United States. You know, I think that like New England kind of style, like beachside town. Obviously, it's an island, not just like a beachside town, but you know, I kind of wanted to be quaint and have like a bunch of like smaller houses, maybe kind of close together, and like clusters of houses and stuff, and a small town, kind of like a nice little town center. You know, that's kind of the idea. It's obviously not going to be at all like a big city type of thing, because obviously it's a little island. But I kind of want it to be like a small, quaint little island. I think that'll be very nice. And yeah, and I don't really want, I mean, these roads, I don't know how well these roads really fit in with the theme I'm going for, but I'm going to use them because I just think it's easiest. Well, I don't know if I can change the road texture after I place them, because no way I'm redoing all the roads. You know, I don't have, like, I know there's a way of like getting the Island Paradise. Like, I really love the Island Paradise roads. I don't know how to get that texture. I'll have to look it up. You know, there's a lot of things I'm gonna have to do some research on, and you know, maybe I can change the road textures later on and kind of make it look a little bit more, you know, appropriate for the town. Right here, I'm just putting a bunch of rocks and stuff by the end of the road, because there's no way you want cars driving straight off the end of that road into the water. You know, not the best thing. So I just put some rocks and a little fence. I have no idea what expansion pack the fence I put in is from. Again, I apologize. I'm not really keeping track of things. You know, so I mean, a lot of this is just right now placeholder stuff. I mean, these rocks might not be, but I just was trying to get an idea of how things would look and just, you know, figure things out a bit and kind of come up with a layout so you can kind of plan things out. A lot of stuff is probably going to be subject to change, I guess, you know, as many things are. And yeah, so right now I'm just putting in a fence. So cars, well, I guess if a car is speeding fast enough, it will break right through that fence anyway, but it gives the illusion of safety, I suppose. And yeah, and also, if you have any name ideas, I don't have a name for this island yet. I probably will maybe wait till I'm done with it, but until I announce the name. But yeah, so if you have any ideas for names, you can leave them in the comments below, and obviously do that throughout the series. Also, if you have any suggestions, I guess, I don't know really what you suggest, but I guess if you have any ideas, you know, leave that in the comments below as well. And obviously there's going to be probably a lot of Sims 3 house builds based in this world, because I have to fill the whole world with lots, so there'll be plenty more Sims 3 house builds. I have like tons of Sims 3 house builds planned, to be honest. I have a whole list of things I want to do in my mind, so there's going to be no shortage of Sims 3 builds on my channel, so if you like Sims 3, you can look forward to that. Sims 4 stuff, I don't have so many plans with that. City Living was announced like a few weeks ago. I've got to be completely honest, I am not at all excited about City Living. I really couldn't care less, to be honest. I don't know, like, to me, The Sims 4 is just not exciting anymore. I don't know, I feel like no matter what they do, it's just never going to interest me, to be honest. That's kind of a pessimistic view, but, I mean, I like the game. I think it's a very well done game, but it's just, as a builder, it's just not for me. I mean, it's the way it is, you know? I mean, this as a builder is just not for me. I prefer The Sims 3 for building, and so when I do house builds, I tend to gravitate toward The Sims 3, just because you can just make things that are more interesting, in my opinion. So that's not a reason why I'm doing Create a World, because like most people who make Sims videos on YouTube, again, I say most, but not all, but most have pretty much abandoned The Sims 3, and that's very sad, in my opinion. And you know, it seems a little late to be making a world in The Sims 3 since The Sims 4 came out over 2 years ago, but I just feel like I'm never going to abandon The Sims 3, to be honest. I just love this game so much. So, you know, here we are, creating a world. Again, the lots seemed weirdly small. I don't know why, but I couldn't believe that the lots I was placing were 64 by 64, but I couldn't make them any bigger, so I'm guessing that they must have been. I have no idea. No idea, but whatever. I guess I'll figure things out. Again, this is just a rough start, kind of like a rough outline of what I want to look like. You can see now that there's like a road coming in here, how small this island really is. And I might try to expand it. Like, this is a medium-sized map, so there's just a lot of water. I might maybe make the main island a little bit larger, and maybe make some of the smaller islands a little bit bigger too. And like have houses on there, obviously. So I guess we'll see how it goes from there, but this is not going to be a world at all like, you know, Isla Paradisa, which came with The Sims 3 what's it called? Island Paradise. That was a very large map. Like, that world was huge, and it's definitely not going to be like that. This is a smaller world. It's much more like a Luna Island. If you watched the Sim Supplies series on that, like a couple years ago, I don't know if this island is bigger than that, because I know that James used a small-sized map, and mine's a medium-sized map, so I'm not entirely sure the size difference, in the terms of our island sizes, but, I'm kind of going for more of like a Cape Cod feel as opposed to like a, what's the word? I guess not like, I feel like the theme of James's island is more like Caribbean or Mediterranean, with like a lot of bamboo and like stilted houses and that kind of stuff. I feel like I want to go for more of a Cape Cod look, which is kind of like, small, like maybe, not Tudor, but I guess like there's like the Cape Cod houses just like are like a style of their own, like they're just like kind of cozy, wood shingled beach houses. It's just like such a nice vibe to them, and that's kind of the theme I want to go for. I mean, obviously right here I'm building a hill lot because I love my interesting terrain. Very important to me, so gotta get that hill lot in. There's gonna be plenty of hill lots and water lots in this world, trust me. So definitely a plan and that I have. And I kind of also maybe want to build like an orchard or something, maybe like more of a farmhouse somewhere. I don't know where because it's a very small island, but I guess I'll figure something out. As you can see right now, it's definitely not a big island. It's pretty small. I'm not sure how I'm going to space everything out yet. So right there on the beach here, you can see that's the largest lot I could build. And since the largest lot in The Sims 3 is a 64 by 64, I'm going to guess it's 64 by 64. Since I placed it on a bizarre angle, I really can't tell, but yeah, I don't know. The lots look weirdly small, like especially next to that road. That lot does not look like a 64 by 64 lot, but maybe it is. It probably is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being silly. Right here is where I had the bizarre road issue because I couldn't delete the roads. So I wanted to make an intersection here, and yeah, that didn't work out too well. So I ended up kind of making it kind of glitched out, and like part of the road I wanted to delete just disappeared. It's still, I think, there, but it's just not visible. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's gone. I don't know how that's going to work in the game. I hope it doesn't like cause glitches and stuff. It shouldn't, because I don't think it will. But right here, you see the only way you can like move this road is like by shoving it back into itself, which I don't know if that was the best idea. And because I needed an intersection here, and you'll see it's like such a pain. But anyway, I'm going to figure this intersection out right here at the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed this series, or this part, the beginning of this series. And, I'm going to try to make some more episodes. I no guarantee how frequent these are going to be because I've just really been busy lately. Hence the lack of videos on my channel for like almost all of September. But I'm going to try to make some more episodes of this. And yeah, anyway, so we're almost done here. I hope you enjoyed. I'd greatly appreciate if you check out my channel and consider subscribing if you like what you see. And I also really appreciate it if you check out my Twitter and Instagram. There are links in the description down below. They're always there in all my videos. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. And we're pretty much wrapping it up right here. And I hope that you have a great day, guys. Bye, guys.